Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Convention 2015. Before I begin my address, I have to say, President Woodside, please don't take it out on me that we forgot to introduce you a little bit there this morning, because I know there are some dirty jobs in FCM and I don't want them. Too late, he says. This year, we're talking a lot about the urban heartbeat. The Convention Planning Committee chose this theme because it echoes the importance of urban municipalities in this province. We believe in our sector, and we believe in our urban leaders. If you're sitting in this room, you are an urban leader. You are the heartbeat of your community. Your villages, towns, and cities are the heartbeat of Saskatchewan. And SUMA is here to help make those hearts beat stronger and louder. SUMA is your association, and we're here to help you. And we do that in a lot of ways, with a lot of projects, but it all boils down to three basic things. SUMA represents your interests, SUMA saves you money, and SUMA helps you build capacity. And let me tell you, my friends, it's been a big year on all three fronts. Did you know that SUMA serves hundreds of municipalities with our group benefits and our insurance services, and that SUMA Advantage brings you discounts from more than 20 suppliers on things from tires to building valuations? And because SUMA acts on your behalf, we can bring you these economies of scale and save you money. We bring you these services and products, most of which you can't get locally. And last year we did some special orders on paratransit buses and air packs for your firefighters. And since our last convention, SUMA has hired a municipal procurement consultant. SUMA is going to bring you an absolutely excellent procurement program to save you even more money than we already do. And with SUMA working on it, well, folks, that just means you don't have to. We save you money and we save you time. Another major step forward this year was launching SUMA's legal services. Members asked for this, and SUMA listened. You passed a resolution in this very room just 2 years ago asking us to investigate legal services, and now they're available for you. Again, SUMA is saving you time and saving you money, and by doing those things together, we let municipal employees focus on your local issues. SUMA also helps you build capacity by giving you access to resources. We give you information, we help you build connections, and we provide you training. And we're doing all of that right here, right now, at Convention. We did it at 7 regional meetings last fall, and we did it at the Mayor's Summer School in August. And we did it just last week with a webinar about the multi-material recycling program. At SUMA, we want to build up the urban sector and support our members. And to do that, we work tirelessly to represent your interests. We are the voice of urban Saskatchewan, and sometimes our voice is quiet as we work at meetings and around boardroom tables, and sometimes our voice is loud and you hear our work in your newspapers and on your TVs. I want to take you back, just for a minute. I want to take you back to the summer of 2012. And not just because the weather was better and maybe we had buses running, but that summer, SUMA and the City Mayor's Caucus put on a campaign. The campaign was called Partners in Building Our Saskatchewan. That campaign, my friends, focused on saying publicly how grateful we were that the provincial government was sharing 20% or 1 point of the PST. And to jog your memory a little bit this morning, I want to show you that commercial that aired that summer.
I love it here. I've raised my family here and seen the growth and prosperity of this community. I feel good about being part of this great community.
Saskatchewan is growing as never before, and our quality of life is the envy of many. Economic growth has helped this province, and continuing that growth requires strong leadership from our cities, towns, and villages represented by the Saskatchewan Urban Municipalities Association. SUMA, cities, and small communities are working every day to meet the demands of our growing province. Assisting with this growth is a strong partnership with the provincial government, which shares 1 point or 20% of the PST with municipal governments each year. This sustainable and predictable revenue sharing supports cities and small communities, the engines of our growth. These services enhance core municipal services, including fire protection, police, parks, and recreation.
This community is so awesome. The resources that they provide to us as a family are top-notch. My kids participate every time they can.
Your city, SUMA, and the provincial government. Partners in building our Saskatchewan. For more information, visit suma.org.
Well, friends, that was the summer of 2012. And that fall, the province unveiled the Saskatchewan Plan for Growth. It set out the government's vision of a province of 1.2 million people by 2020. And at that same time, SUMA sent a letter to Premier Brad Wall saying that we were endorsing that ambitious plan. It seemed realistic, and we've already made great progress towards that goal. But since 2012, every new job in Saskatchewan means that we need to welcome a new worker and their families to our province. We are totally dependent on immigration for our labour force growth. At our last convention, the city's breakout session heard from an expert saying that by 2025 we will be totally dependent on immigration just to sustain our population. We also know that when people choose to live in Saskatchewan, they almost exclusively decide to settle in our villages, our towns, and our cities, in urban Saskatchewan. These people have come to our province to start a new life, like people did generations ago in Saskatchewan's infancy. And in the last 7 years, Saskatchewan has incorporated 3 new cities, each with at least 5,000 residents: Martensville, Meadow Lake, and Warman. But what we've also done is welcome 122,623 more people. Imagine. Imagine enough people to fill the equivalent of almost 25 new cities. For me, it's a bit hard to wrap my head around, because many of us here clearly remember when lots were for sale for $100 or even $1, and there were incentives for residential expansion. A population explosion like this has been an exceptional challenge for our towns, our cities, and our villages. But you know what, friends? You know what? We met that challenge and we delivered. Urban municipalities are a vital partner in the new Saskatchewan, but partners don't work alone. Urban municipalities have another major partner, our provincial government. That's part of the point that we tried to make in that 2012 campaign. It takes partnership to build Saskatchewan, and revenue sharing is part of that partnership. Premier Wall and his team made a commitment in 2009. They committed to fixing an outdated, cap-in-hand, ad hoc funding provided to our local governments. The Premier delivered on that promise. The new funding formula promised stable, long-term, predictable funding to municipalities. He said linking the funding formula to the provincial PST was the best way to ensure funding reflected the economy. He said linking the funding formula to the provincial sales tax, the PST, was the best way to ensure funding reflected the economy. The revenue sharing pool would reflect inflation, and it would reflect economic downturns. Makes sense. When we build, construction requires steel, asphalt, and lumber. And guess what? We pay PST on all of that. When job numbers fluctuate, so does disposable income, and so do the retail sales, and again, so does the PST. After the last major bump in the provincial economy, the Premier came to SUMA delegates at the convention 2012 and he had this to say.
We'll grow bigger still as the economy expands in the years ahead. And notwithstanding the process underway reviewing the 4 funding pools, whatever changes may arise from that, whatever the fiscal state we face in this province, we have an agreement with SUMA and SARM, with our municipal partners. We have made a commitment with respect to revenue sharing, and we will keep that commitment. We will sustain that commitment as long as we have the honor of forming the Government of Saskatchewan.
Colleagues, friends, the buttons that you see on the table are a visual reminder of the partnership between the province and local governments. These buttons are based on that 2012 campaign and that 2012 commitment that as partners, municipalities would receive 1 point of the PST. SUMA will keep its end of the partnership. Urban municipalities will continue to be the heartbeat of Saskatchewan. We pump the economy with manufacturing, jobs, culture, arts, and family life. We create the business service centers for education, healthcare. Our cities, our towns, and our villages are building the new Saskatchewan. We are the urban heartbeat, and SUMA is there to keep us beating even stronger. In the last year, SUMA has represented your interests in no less than 25 major consultations with the province. As I said earlier, sometimes SUMA is your quiet voice, sitting at a boardroom table trying to negotiate fair rates when your fire department is called out to a motor vehicle accident, or pushing for a commitment on a recycling program that we've been promised. And sometimes, SUMA is your loud voice, talking about keeping our communities safe and standing up when the foundation of our fiscal relationship with the province is threatened. But no matter the volume, SUMA is your voice. That, my friends, is the commitment that I made to you when you elected me president of SUMA. And that is the commitment that SUMA keeps each and every single day. SUMA represents your interests. SUMA saves you money. And SUMA helps you build capacity. And I look forward to doing all of these things between now and Wednesday, but I especially look forward to doing all of those things between now and Convention 2016.